Good boss of YouTube, how's it going everybody? Got for you guys today another really good Yu battle that I had against my good buddy PuddlesA1. I'll leave his channel link down in the description. Make sure to go check him out and subscribe if you like his videos. Now I know I've been uploading a lot of Yu battles recently, but that's because Yu is like the one tier where I know I can get a good battle in. But much like before, if we can get this video up to 400 likes, I would definitely upload another video for you guys tomorrow, maybe even 2 if I am able to. So looking at team preview, going into this battle, the biggest threat I saw was going to be that man-child, just because if he does turn out to be life orbed, it's going to be a major pain in the ass to deal with, because I don't think Quagsire will be able to deal with it one-on-one. So he's going to be leading off with the man-child, as I'm going to be leading off with my Excavalier. I'm very positive I can take any hit that he wants to go for, so what I'm going to do is actually go for the knockoff, predicting him to want to bring in his Rotom, predicting me to want to go for the Megahorn or the Iron Head. As I knock off his leftovers, this now tells me that he is a defensive variant, which means my specially defensive Celebi will be able to deal with it one-on-one, just because if he does want to overheat, I know from prior experience Celebi can easily live a non-invested overheat coming from defensive Rotom heat, and I will be able to stall it out of overheats and eventually beat it one-on-one. So I get on my Stealth Rocks as he Volt switches on now into his Man-Child. Now I don't want to stay in and take a possible U-turn or knockoff, so what I'm going to do is actually make a bit of a risky switch into my Quagsire, just because if he did want to go for the high jump kick, I don't know if it is a 2 KO or not, but he actually ends up going for the knockoff, which does a really good amount of damage to my max defense, max HP Quagsire, which isn't too big of a deal, because now I'm very positive that he's going to want to switch out, because I don't see Life Orb. This most likely means he is Scarfed or either Choice Banded. So I switch out into my Excavalier, predicting him to want to bring in the Celebi, and I'm in a position where, much like before, I can just go for the knockoff because I really have no reason not to. If he does want to bring in the Rotom, I have Stealth Rocks up and I can just start wearing him down with that and the combination of knockoff. So I make a very aggressive play by bringing in my Keldeo. I was positive in the fact that he wouldn't go for the Volt Switch, so by bringing in my Keldeo, I can now go for the Hidden Power Ghost, predicting him to want to bring in the Latios or the Celebi. And looking back at it, maybe I should have gone for the Icy Wind, because I am Choice Specs, and I believe that Choice Specs Icy Wind does indeed 2 KO offensive Latios, so I might have been able to get rid of his Latios and prevented him from possibly going for the Defog later in the battle. As I bring in my Excavalier on his Keldeo, we both miss our offensive moves, but he actually switches out, predicting me to want to bring in my Celebi, as I stay in, predicting him to predict that, and I'm able to catch the incoming Man-Child, get off a huge amount of damage, which means I'm not as worried about this Man-Child anymore, at least I thought, but as you're going to see, it turns out that he actually has Regenerator, which you never really see on non-Life Orb Man-Childs, because most of them carry Reckless if they are Banded or Scarfed. So I believe I do go for the Iron Head, and then I'm going to switch into my Celebi, just predicting him to want to go for the Will-O-Wisp again, and if he did want to go for the Overheat, because I am faster than the Rotom, I would have been able to outspeed him and take a Overheat at -2 special attack. So I'm in a pretty good position right now, and I decided just to go for the Baton Pass on the off chance that he did want a hard switch out, but he's going to make the safer play by just staying in and going for the Pain Split, knowing that Celebi can really do nothing to the Rotom, as unfortunately for him, he misses the Will-O-Wisp, and you would think with the boost and accuracy of Will-O-Wisp that it would hit more, but it just misses about the same as it did back in 5th gen, which is a little frustrating when you have bad luck like me or Puddles in this situation. Luckily though, I'm able to Toxic the Rotom, and I decided to leave in my Quagsire because I really don't want anything else on my team being burned, or maybe he would go for the Volt Switch, predicting me to bring in my Celebi, but he actually switches into his own Celebi, and expecting him to want to go for the possible Giga Drain, I'm actually just going to make the safe switch into my Excavalier, as he actually switches into his Latios, and then oddly enough, he leaves in his Latios just to go for the Defog, which at first I found to be very odd, because Latios might have been able to do something later in the battle, but I mean, as long as I keep this Excavalier around, I resist both of Latios' stab moves, which means I will be able to take any hit from it and eventually knock it out later in the battle. So I guess the fact that he just stayed in to get rid of rocks wasn't too bad. As he brings in the Rotom, I'm going to switch into my Manectric, thinking that he would go for the Will-O-Wisp, but he actually goes for the Overheat. Unfortunately though, he misses. Now, I did run a damage calc, and the maximum amount of damage a non-invested Overheat would have done to my Manectric was only 94%, which means I still would have been able to live Mega Evolve and go for this Volt Switch, and I bring in my Keldeo as he misses another overheat. Now this is actually good for him because I'm actually going to over predict and I'm gonna go for the Icy Wind, thinking that he would bring in the Aerodactyl, thinking I would go for the Hidden Power, maybe expecting it to be Hidden Power Bug, or maybe even bring in the Celebi. And because he's not at -2 or -4, he's able to knock me out with the Volt Switch and still keep his Rotom around for possibly Death Fodder later in the battle, which is a little frustrating because Keldeo definitely would have come in handy in this battle. So I bring him a Manectric on this Keldeo, and I don't want to risk him possibly being Scarfed, although at this point it really should have clicked in my mind that his Mancha was Scarfed and this Keldeo was most likely Expert Belted or Choice Specs. So because I switched out before him, this tells me that I am faster than him, which means next time that it is Manectric against Keldeo, I will be able to outspeed him and knock him out with a Thunderbolt. And the reason why this is so sped up is because it's kind of the stalliest part of the battle. It's just me staying in and constantly going for the recover until the point where he dies off from the Toxic or does want to go for the Volt Switch, as he does this turn, and he's going to Volt Switch into the Mancha, much like earlier in the battle. It's kind of a prediction game on whether he'll go for the U-turn, the knockoff, or the high jump kick. And I'm going to make a risky play by bringing in my Quagsire. I was very confident that he would go for the high jump kick, but on the off chance that he didn't, I knew Quagsire would be my best switch into this Manchow, as he does actually end up going for the knockoff, and then I switch out into my Manectric as he actually fodders off his Rotom, which kind of sucks because now he gets switch initiative because he saw that I brought in my Manectric. So the fact that he brought in Manchow on my Manectric automatically confirmed the fact that he is indeed Scarfed. So I switch into my Excavalier's Death Fodder. Unfortunately though, he misses his first high jump kick, but I then miss my Mega Horn, which means he can knock me out with another high jump kick, but I'm very positive that I should have used for my Excavalier later in the battle, possibly as Death Fodder. So I'm just going to switch out into my Celebi, which takes the high jump kick like it was nothing, which is really great because Celebi is definitely putting in some work right now. And I'm going to go for the Baton Pass, predicting him to actually want to switch into his own Celebi, predicting me to want to go for a Psychic or a Giga Drain. And this is my perfect opportunity to bring in my Haxorus, set up a substitute on this Celebi because no Celebi commonly carries Psychic or Psyshock. It's very rare to see one of those carries one of the stab moves that I just mentioned, because most of them just carry Giga Drain, Recover, Perish Song, and Stealth Rock, at least from what I've seen, or they carry U-Turn or Baton Pass over Stealth Rock. So banking on the fact that he doesn't have Psychic or Psyshock, I'm going to go for the substitute and then go for a Swords Dance. And he did go for the Perish Song, which is kind of bad, but I mean, I'm adamant at +2 behind a substitute. There is no chance that this Celebi is going to live this Outrage. If he had lived this Outrage, I was going to release this Haxorus after this battle because I actually really like Haxorus. I've been wanting to use this sub SD Haxorus set for a while now, and finally I get to show it off, as I'm not only going to be able to knock out the Celebi, but I am also going to be able to knock out this Keldeo because I was behind a substitute, and if he did have a Focus Sash for some odd reason, it is broken, and I'm able to easily annihilate this Keldeo, and now he can easily just bring in the Manchow or the Aerodactyl to revenge kill me. But because he did go for the Perish Song, my Perish count falls to 0, and it is going to be kind of like a double down. So I bring in my Excavalier, which honestly was a really stupid play on my part. What I should have done was brought in my Manectric, because as you saw here, he brought in Aerodactyl, and I thought he would bring in the Manchow, but even if he brought in the Manchow as opposed to Aerodactyl, my best switching still would have been in my Manectric, because then I could have foddered off my Excavalier and then brought in my Celebi or my Quagsire and then gone from there. Unfortunately though, I made the dumb play and brought in my Excavalier. As he goes for the Aerial Ace, Quagsire is easily going to be able to take this hit. Now I don't knock him out with the Scald, but luckily for me he's not going to crit me, and I'm going to be able to knock him out with another Scald. And at this point his last Pokemon is the Manchow, which with the combination of Quagsire, Manectric, or Celebi can easily knock out this Manchow. So he goes for the knockoff. As I bring in my Manectric, I'm going to be able to easily live the hit and in return knock him out. That's going to be the narrow 2-0 victory in my favor. So yeah, that was definitely a good battle. It was actually pretty haxy because me and him both missed a lot of moves, but it kind of evened out in the end in my opinion. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and as I said, if we can get this video up to 400 likes, guys, I would definitely try my best to upload another video for you guys tomorrow, maybe even 2. Also, make sure to go check out any of my previous 2 videos that you might have missed. If you missed my previous Wi-Fi battle, I'll leave a link to that down in the description so you guys can go check that out. And with that, I will see you all soon, so enjoy the rest of your night and or day, and I am out of here. Later, everybody.